Hi everyone, good evening. This side Abhipsha Guha, and today I am going to explain about the module 2 that we have started off. So, after the last session, we are supposed to go down to in details about the module 2. So, I'll first share my screen and show you what is the agenda for today, and eventually we'll move ahead. Okay. Hopefully, I am audible and my screen is visible to you. So here you can find the details of module 2. There are one or two topics more here. So we'll accordingly include that. But this going to be the agenda for today. So today we will be covering with function, the OOPS concept in Python, coming down with the libraries of Python. Then we have pandas and numpy library, the most used libraries in Python. So we will be seeing it in details. There are other libraries as well, like scikit-learn, matplotlib, that we need for scikit-learn, matplotlib, that we actually need for visualization purpose. Okay, so that we will be accordingly understanding. Scikit-learn has many other uses like for the models and all, for getting the details from there. So that also we will be learning. We will be learning Seaborn, Matplotlib, this libraries because they are basically for visualization purpose. So that all we will be seeing. But for today, we will be covering only these topics that are function, OOPS concept in Python, coming down to libraries in Python, pandas, and NumPy. Okay, so let's just move it one by one. So the first topic for today is functions. Okay, fine. Let's just zoom it out. Okay, that's more of zoom. Okay, fine. Yeah. So let's just first topic is functions in Python. Okay, so we need to understand what is function. So in general term or general language, how we call it, we'll just explain in that way. Okay, so a function is kind of a block of code. Okay, is a block of code that does a specific task. Okay, so as you are all aware with the predefined functions in Python, so we will be also learning and understanding about them in details, how they are used, in what format we can use that. Already in the past sessions that we have gone ahead with, there we have by default used the predefined functions in Python. So now we will be learning how we can make an function that is like user defined, like I have built it. Okay, so that function I have the access, I have built it, and how can I use that in my coding sections? That we will be understanding. Function, the function is the block of code that performs a specific task that needs to be done by on the sake of the coding or on the sake of the project that you are working on. Okay, so this is function. Now coming down, you can think function as a like a machine. So you are giving a input, it is working on the input, and in return it is giving you a proper output. So this is what exactly a function is. In real life, you can think about calculator. So the performations that can be done in calculator, that are addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. I am talking about a normal calculator, not a scientific one. In scientific one, you can do more other functions as well, apart from just doing addition, subtraction, and stuff. Right? Coming down to a washing machine. Washing machine, there you washes cloth. What you do, you give the cloth an input, You run the machine, and in return, you get the washed clothes, right? So this is a example of a function that you can think of. Okay. So basically, function actually helps us to reuse the code without running the code again and again, right? So that is all about function. Now, next question that can come to your mind, like why do we need the function? We can write the same code again and again, so that's fine for us. It's not a big deal, right? But the major thing that comes up when you are working on a project, on a big project, or your coding sections are too long. For short coding, it's fine. But when you are working on a like real-time project, there you have to write like running or are working on the same like writing the same kind of code again and again makes it difficult. So in that case, we need functions. Okay, so it actually avoids repetitive codes, right? Like writing the repetitive codes and doing it one by one. It just avoid that. It also make the code cleaner, and it divides the big program into smaller parts so that it is easily accessible and understandable. Okay, so basically, function actually makes the code reusable, and it also helps in the debugging section easier, right? In some case, we get some of the we get some of the error in our code. We need to debug the code, right? In that case, if we are just writing the same part of the code again and again, there might be a mistake doing that. But once we are using functions, we have written the code only once. If that has run accordingly, going down, it will be giving us the same answer, like the same result, right? With the with different output, of course, with different input, the output would be different, of course. It will be varying in that case, but the function would not change, right? So that is the major thing. Now let's discuss about types of functions. Okay. So types of functions. So very first one, that is built-in function. So built-in functions are the ones that already provided by Python, and they already exist. So we have already used the print function, right? This is already available in it is already given or provided by Python. It's already available. So we can just directly use this function, print function. We know about len function. We have used it. Next, we have this type function. We have already used it. So just a moment, len function, type function, and input function. All of it we have used it, right? So these are the inbuilt functions that Python has already given it to us, right? Now coming down to the second one, that is user-defined function. So what is this user-defined functions? It is like made by us, right? For an example, you know you have any of the function, right? You want to do a specific work, like let's take it add numbers. This is a function, okay? That has been defined by you. That has been made by you, okay? So now we will be going down in Collab and see how to create a function, what are the simple functions we can use and how we can use that we will be. So, okay, fine. Let's just go here. Okay. So, okay. First, we need to understand like what is the like how we can create the function? Like what is the syntax for this, right? So we use def. Next we have the function name that we need to give. Next this ratio symbol. Next we have to write the code. Here we have to write the code. Okay. So this is the way we create the function. Now for calling the function, what we use this function, the name of the function. This is the function name. So this is the syntax. Okay. So first we have to create the function. Then we need to call the function. This is basically for, okay, just a moment. This is basically for calling the function. Okay. Now we have to just understand about a simple function. Let's just take a simple function and see how is it working. Okay. So first we'll take like we have to write def by default. That is that actually defines that we are defining a function. Okay. So now we let's just give the name of the function as greet. Okay. Now here we will be allocating any of the function or the task that any of the task basically that the function needs to work on. Okay. So we will be using print hello only. We can keep like that. Now we have to call the function, right? We have to call the function. So we will be writing greet. Now it's done. Let's just test it. Okay. So it is giving me the result as hello. So let's just modify it. Okay, let's just put it like this. Okay. Now let's just update it and take it hello. It's Abhipsha. It is giving me accordingly. The output is updating accordingly. Based on my modification on the task, it is actually getting updated, right? This is a normal function. Now we will be understanding function with parameters, that is the input. Okay. So function with parameter, that is the input. Now let's just go inside. Uh, we have again need to use this def. Next, let's take it greet and inside it we can take name. Yes, that looks fine. And I want to just put hello with the name. Here the name is I am giving the name as my name itself. Okay. And here I am just calling the function. So this is my whole function. The task is to say hello with the name. Okay. Here I have just given the name. Here if the name changes, I can update it. Okay. So let's see. So it is giving me hello Abhipsha. Now let's just change it to Abhi. It's giving me the name like that. Let's just change it with uh, anything. Ocean. Hello Ocean. You got it? So this is the function with the parameter. Okay. So name is the parameter up here. Now function with two different parameters. This was one the single parameter. Now suppose let's take it with two different parameters. Let's just take it accordingly. Now we will be using def. Okay, let's just close it. Def. I want to add. So I will be adding a comma b. Two parameters I have taken. Now what is my task? My task is to print a comma b. A plus b actually. Yes, it's done. Now I'll be calling my function. Okay, just a moment. Add, and I want to give the specific numbers. Suppose 5 comma 6. So it is giving me the result as 11, right? So let's just change the number to 7 and see is my data getting updated or not, right? So it is giving me the result as 12, right? So this is the add function that we have used using two different parameters. Okay. Now function with return value. Okay. With return. Let's just check. So let's give def multiply. Now a comma b, the same thing we are doing, and we have to return a comma b. Okay, like a multiplied with b, like that. Okay. Now here I will be printing that. Before that, I want to store this multiplication in a variable. So let's just store it in result, and I want to, yes, this print I'll be doing here, and I want to do it like that. Yes. Now print the result. Let's just run it. So it is giving me the result as 35. Now let's change the number to 4 comma 5. So it is accordingly updating. So why we are using this return, right? What is the need of using this return? Because it actually allows us to store the result and use it later as well, right? Suppose here I am not needing it anyhow, later on I would be needing it. So I can accordingly based on my wish, my like my logic, how I am putting the logic over my right. So based on okay, now we have the default parameter. Okay, so default parameter that needs to be taken. So let's take there. I will be giving the name of the function as greet only. Here I'll be giving the name, and I'll just add it as, let's take it guest. That would be good to go. Okay. Now this one. Now coming down, I have the task of printing. Print hello, and I'll give the parameter as name. Now let's take it to greet, and I'll be taking this one. This one looks good, and I'll be take okay. Here I'll be taking greet. Okay, just a moment. Here inside the bracket, I'll be giving a name. Let's take Abhi. Let's run it. So, hello, guest. Hello, Abhi. So, it is accordingly updating, right? If the user doesn't give any of the value, so I'll be using the default value, okay? And if the user is giving any specific value, I'll change it with the user value. That is the main concept here. So, here, the user, that is me as of now, I haven't added any of the any of the specific name, right? So by default, we have the guest name. So it is accordingly giving the name is hello guest. Now here I have updating it with a different name, right? So it is giving me hello Abhi. Got that? Now coming down with functions with many arguments. Okay. So function with many arguments. So we will take def total. We will be adding numbers. Now, what is the task? Task is to print sum and they need to get the numbers. Okay. I have given the total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Let's just check it. So it is giving me 55. Okay. We have used this star argument for like multiple inputs, right? We can give multiple inputs over there. So you see here we have given the input as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All of these inputs we have given. So accordingly, we have given 10 inputs. Here, based on you, we have taken the parameters, two parameters we have taken, so two input we need to give. Here, one parameter we have taken, one input we can give, right? So here, if we are giving this star argument, so it is actually allowing us to give multiple inputs. Okay. Now, let's take it to another. So we'll have def, suppose student info. Now let's take it data. Now I'll be printing the data. Now I need to call it. I have given the name. Now I have to give the age. Okay, let's just run it. So it is giving me the result like this. Okay, so this is for multiple keyword input. This one is basically for multiple keyword input. So here you have given, see, I have performed the result like this, and here we have given multiple inputs like this, like name like this, age like this, for this. Okay, so here it is getting stored in a dictionary format. So we are getting the name and the like the key and the value pairs we are getting up here. Okay, now let's take it for a nested function. Let's just run the code for it. So we have def. Def, suppose this is the outer one. Okay, let's take it like that. Def outer. So we have to use this outer function. Def inner, we will be printing this inner function. Then we will be calling each of them accordingly. So let's take it. So first we are getting this outer function, then we are getting this inner function. Okay. So this is about the nested loop, that is loop sorry, nested function, that is function inside function. Okay. Now let's take it to another one. So where we will be using the lambda function. So this is for the small simple calculation. We use this lambda function. This lambda function is called as one line function. Okay, suppose I need to do square. I'll be using yes. The same way I'll be using. So lambda x into x square I need to do, and the square I am giving it is of 5. Let's just take it to, we are giving as 25. Let's just update it to 15. So it is giving me the result as 225. Got it? Now coming down to the pass statement in function. We have usually seen this pass statement. So this is actually used when we don't want to write the code yet. So like we have created the function, then use pass. So this avoids the error. So it is actually getting passed and we are writing the code for the next part. Okay. So that is basically the pass statement. Okay. So this is all about the details. Now let's take an example where like we have different functions of doing different operations. So we'll just try to build a student marks program, okay, using function. Student marks program. Now here we have to first do like you include the function. So we'll include, def function, like def we need to add and the name of the function. So suppose I need to do calculate percentage. Okay. Now here inside I'll give the parameter as mark. Okay. Now here I'll just go inside and will allocate the task accordingly. Okay, so the total marks would be accordingly this, but here the percentage would be total. Like I'll change it to total divided by, I'll suppose take three subjects, so 300, and that will be multiplied by 100. Okay, so this is what I want in return. Now I'll be just going for marks. What would be the marks that need to be taken? So here let's take the list as, yeah, we can keep it like this only. 80, 75, 90, or we can just change it to 70. Fine. Now we need the percentage. This I have given as the variable where I'll be doing this calculation. So calculate percentage, the marks we have taken. Now I want to print percentage with this accordingly. Okay, let's just run it. So there is a type error, function and int is not supported. So why it is saying like that? Okay, let's change it. Okay, let's take the name to different. Take it to result. Okay, let's change it to result. Now let's do it. Unsupported type. Okay, let's see what's the issue. So total, some marks we have done. Yes, total we are taking. Okay, so it is not total, it is total marks. Sorry. Yes, total marks accordingly we have taken. Yeah. Now it's getting around 80. Okay, so that is the major thing up here. So we have got def, calculated percentage and marks. So total marks equals to sum of marks. So percentage is total marks by 300. That is dividing by 100. So return percentage. Next we have given the marks. Then we have taken it as result and included the calculated percentage like that, printing the percentage with the result. Right? So it is how we have created the student marks program. This is all about the functions in Python. What is function in Python? How we can work with function in Python. Now we'll deep dive into OOPS. Okay, so this is OOPS. Let's take it. Yes. So, what is OOPS? First, we need to understand that. Okay. So, it is actually like in this case, we call it as OOPS is object oriented programming. Okay. So, that is actually giving us an idea about like how the things are moving. Okay. So, suppose you can imagine that you have lot of toys, right? You have different kind of toys like the car, the dolls, the robots, the Pokemon figures, the superheroes, all of them. Okay, so all these toys have some of the properties and the action. Okay, so OOPS actually means to teach Python to create things like the toys with properties and action. So in Python, we have class and the object. So OOPS contains class and object. Okay, so that is actually what is actually class and object that we will be discussing class and object. Okay, so class is the design, or we can call it the blueprint of how I want my house to be, right? So, suppose I want to build a house, a rent house, a farmhouse kind of, and now I want this to be like this design to be here, this features to be there. So there needs to be a proper blueprint before I am structuring my house, right? So that is the structuring, that is the blueprint. So the blueprint is the class, and object is the actual house that has been built from the blueprint. Okay, so that is the object. So now coming down to class and explaining it. Just a moment. Yes. So coming down to class. So class, as I told, it is the blueprint. Okay. So this class is like this planning or drawing of the entire getting the house accordingly. And in Python, how we get it? Let's just take it. Let's just first save it. Now let's take a notebook. Okay. Let's just take it to O. Okay, first we were going to discuss about class. Okay, fine. So now, okay, this, sorry. Okay, fine. Now we have to just take it. Suppose we have the class and we have the name of the class as suppose car. Okay, so what we are doing up here, what we exactly want, the that color that needs to be red, and suppose I can call it as brand. I want the brand to be Toyota. Okay, so we have the class as car. The name of the class is car. The color is red and the brand is Toyota. Okay, so it's just the design. This is not actually the car. Now coming down to object. So the object is created from this class. Okay, so let's create it. Now about the object. So this is the car design, like the blueprint. So I will be calling it as my car, and that would be equal to the car. Okay. So this blueprint accordingly. Now I want to print my car dot color and my car dot brand. Okay. Okay. First we need to run it. Sorry. Yes. So now it has given me the color to be red and Toyota to be the brand. Okay. So this OOPS is basically class plus object. So the class is the idea and object is the thing that creates that idea, that is created from the idea. Okay. So Now coming down to like understanding about them in detail. So this is hopefully you have understand it that this is the class and this would be the object. So first we need to do it for the class, then we have to do it for object. Right? So class we have given the blueprint first. Next we have taken another variable that is my car and taken the blueprint accordingly. Okay. Now I want to get the print I want to print the color that is there in the blueprint and I want to print the brand that we have taken in the blueprint. Okay, so this is class and the object. Now we need to learn about the OOPS concept. So OOP concept has like four main pillars. Okay, that we will be checking and understanding up here. Okay, four main pillars of OOPS. Okay, so the very first one is encapsulation. The second one that is inheritance. Third one is polymorphism. And the fourth one is abstraction. So it contains these four major pillars. Okay. So now we have to understand about each of them in details. Okay. So we will be just going through and understand each of them. So first we have this encapsulation. So, what is encapsulation? We want to keep the thing safe inside, right? That is the concept of encapsulation. So, you can think about like the school bag, right? So, like any of the school bag that a children or a child or even you as a student take, so that actually contains your books, your personal files, maybe it contains the lunch box, the like the other stuff, all of this, right? You zip off the bag, right? So that nothing actually comes out from the bag, so that no one can touch your things or open it up, right? That is the part. So this is what it means. So encapsulation actually means keeping some of the important things together and protected, right? So for example, a car, right? When you drive a car, you use the steering wheel, you press the brake, you press the accelerator to get it moving, right? But you don't see how the engine is working. What are the wires and where are the wires are been connected in your car? And what is the fuel system they have used, right? You don't know about it. So everything is hidden inside the car. So simple meaning is that encapsulation means to hide the complicated things that some of the people won't understand and protect the important data. Okay, so this is all about inheritance. So why it is considered as good or safe? Because it actually keeps this thing safe. It stops others or any other people to from like doing any of the things or changing any of the important stuff. So that are the important things that are kept as private and insecure. Okay, so that makes the things easy to use also and easy to access also. So that is inheritance. Okay. So we'll see into the code as well. First, let's understand each of them in details, then we'll go down. Okay. Now we have this inheritance. So what is inheritance? As you know, like a child actually gets the quality and acquired the traits from the parents, right? So you can call it like your father's height and your height actually matches. So you have got the color of your eyes from your mom, like that, right? So this is actually like This is actually you have inherited from your parents. You got them from your parents, right? So we have an example of suppose this animal family. So all animals can eat and all animals can sleep, right? You understand? Now suppose there is a difference. The dog actually barks and the cat actually meows, right? So this dog and cat inherited some of the common things from the animal class, right? So that is inheritance. So in simple meaning, like inheritance means that a child gets the feature of the parents automatically, right? So that is inheritance. So why working with inheritance is good because it actually saves time, it actually learns faster and easier, and there is no need of creating all of the stuff all over again, right? It will be taken into inheritance only. Okay. Next, we have this polymorphism. What is polymorphism? It is like the same word with different action. Okay. So think about a specific word like the boy is running, a dog is running, a car is running. Right. The same word we are getting all of the time. That is run, 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 or running, running, running. But the way of running is different, right? Because when a boy is running, he is running like using his two legs, right? When the dog is running, he is using his four legs. But when the car is running, it is using petrol and it is going with his four wheels accordingly. Or if it is a like big car, then like the number of wheels can change accordingly. If we are simply considering four wheeler, then it is like going or running using its four wheels. Okay, so the same word run, but every action is different. Like the action is doing in different way, right? So this is exactly about polymorphism. Suppose let's take an example about the game. Okay, a gaming app or a game example. Uh, in a game, suppose there is a hero that attacks with a sword, right? There is a magician who attacks with the magic. Same, the robot attacks with any of the laser gun, right? So now here, all of them is attacking with different things. But the action is same, right? The attacking is the action that is same, but there is difference in the result that we are getting. So, in an easier meaning or a simpler meaning, we can say this polymorphism means like one action but multiple forms. Okay, so this is all about polymorphism. Now, going down, we have abstraction. So, what is abstraction? So, it's showing only what we need to do. Okay. Suppose we have a TV remote, right? So, we press this power button and this volume key and also this channels, right? There is different channels we can just shift off using these buttons, right? We can do it using these buttons, but we don't know which where is joined where or how is the circuit moving inside it, right? So this is the abstraction. So we only know what is needed for us to be known, and the other stuff is not known in that case. Okay, so in simple way, we know like in a simple meaning, if we had to understand, that is we show only the important part and the rest of the part is hidden. Okay, so that there is no proper confusion in that, it makes the things and understanding simple, and it is easy to use complex things. Okay, so in encapsulation, what is encapsulation? Encapsulation is keeping things safe and hidden. Inheritance is like getting the features automatically. Polymorphism, it is actually like the same action with different result, and abstraction is showing only what we need to show. Okay, so abstraction is show less, do more. Okay, so this is all about the four pillars of OOPS. So we'll see how we can use them in coding. Let's just move it down here. Okay, fine. First, we will be taking for encapsulation. Okay, let's take an example. Suppose I am taking the class as student. Okay, now I am giving about some of the marks. Suppose let's just take the marks here, and I want to take the marks as 95. Okay, so this data I will be keeping as we'll keep it at a hidden data. Okay, now let's come down, and I'll be using the function as def. I'll be using get marks, and accordingly will return self dot marks. Okay, here this marks is the private or the hidden thing that I don't want to show. Now let's run it. Okay, class, I have used the capital C. Sorry. So this is now, let's take it. So it is running accordingly. Okay. Now this is about like this we have kept as this. Now suppose if I want to get the result, so let's get marks, and I'll just take it like this. So, okay. So there is the argument. Okay, fine. Let's take it self itself. Let's take it self only. Let's see. Okay. Self is not defined, of course, because we have taken it like that. Self dot like that. Let's take it in this way itself. No worries with that. So we already understand like calling it would be here a problem because this is what we are keeping it as like this. Okay. So this is actually encapsulation, that is keeping the things safe inside. So this part, this marks equals to 95, we want to keep it as hidden. But in return, what I'll be getting this value, like self dot marks, that I'll be getting in return. Okay. Now coming down, suppose I want to go it down with this and I want to run it. So it is performing well. That means it is hidden, and in return we are getting it likewise. Okay. Now, suppose let's take it for inheritance. Now let's take the class as parent. Okay, just a moment. Now we will be writing, suppose let's take it height, and I want to take it as tall. Now I'll be calling as the next class, as the child class that will inherit the property of the parent, and here I'll use pass. Okay, let's just take it. I want to get the values accordingly. So C equals to child, and I want to print C dot height. Okay. Now it is giving that it is tall. Okay. What is the height of the child? So it is tall. So it is inheriting from the parent class. Okay. Now going down for polymorphism. Now suppose we have the class as, okay, just a moment, class as dog. Now we have this def, sound, self. Now here we will be giving print. We will be giving as bark. Now let's, okay, we will be going for class cat. Now we will be using def, sound, self. Okay, we'll just not use this. So it is meow. Now I want to get like for animals in dog, comma, cat. I want to get the sound of the animal. So it is giving me bark and meow. So polymorphism is like the same name but different action. So the sound is the same name of the function we have used but giving different actions. Okay. So this is polymorphism. Now I want to go for abstraction. Now in abstraction, what we actually do, suppose we have to import anything, like in this case, like when suppose we are playing the video game, we just press this, suppose this jump button. We don't care how the game code actually takes the characters to jump. So this is abstraction. So how we will be taking it, right? So we will be importing any of the abstract method and accordingly will uh, pass it, right? So this is the exact part that we need to work here. So the same thing, the same way we will be using and accordingly we will be doing it here. Now we need to put it all together and just give an example to make you understand. First, we will be creating the blueprint, then we will make the exact thing. So let's take a example of the toy as the example of the toy only we have taken. So first we have to create the blueprint that is the class. Now here we will be taking as class toy. Now let's take it. Okay, the same thing. Sorry. Now I'll be taking it as def init sales name and the let's change it price to color. Okay. So self dot name we are getting name, self dot color we are, this would be changed to color. Okay. Now what I need to do, this is what we have got. Now we will be defining another function that is def. I need to show self and I'll be printing print toy. Now here I'll be using self name, self dot name, comma color. that I'll be using self.color. Okay, now going down, I have to make the real toy. This is my blueprint. Now there needs to be an object. So first running it. Yes, it is run completely well. Now I will be having this car. So I'll use toy. The name of the class I'll be using, and I need to give the details like car and red. Now let's take it another one. I want to take suppose robot, and I want to take it as toy, robot and blue, and I want to show it. Now let's run it. So it's giving me that is the toy, that is car color, a car, and then is color actually. So either we can just do it in this way, or we can keep it like that. There is no issues with that. This we are giving the toy as car, the color is red, toy as robot, color is blue. Okay, let's just omit the spaces in between and run it, and then run this, so we are getting it better, right? So this is all about it. Okay, so this is how we need to take it moving, and this are the stuff that we need to understand. So this is all about OOTS. So class is like the plan or the blueprint. Object is the real object that we are creating. Encapsulation is like keeping the thing safe inside. Inheritance is again like the child getting the inheriting the properties or the traits from the parent. Polymorphism is like the same name but different action. Abstraction is it's showing only the important things. Okay, so this is all about OOPS concept. Now we'll move it down with the library. What is library and what are the details about the libraries that we need to understand? So let's move here. Okay, let's name it as library. Okay, so library in Python. Okay, the thing is, why do we need this library, right? So we have to write everything like without the library specifically, we have to write everything by ourselves. The programs become like too long and too difficult, right? So with libraries, the work become faster, the codes become shorter and easy understandable, and the programs become powerful. Okay, coming down to the meaning of what exactly is library. So the library is the collection of ready-made tools that actually help Python to do some of the specific job more easily and effortlessly. Okay, so these are the libraries. This is what the libraries in Python. Okay, now we basically need to understand the types of Python library. The very first one is the built-in libraries that already existed inside Python. That is built-in libraries. Okay, so this actually comes with comes along with Python. Okay, it's like the books accordingly, right? So it's like maths, random, time, OS. These are the built-in libraries. So maths is for the numbers and calculation. Coming down with the random, random is for the names that actually, like the randomly taking the names or anything. This is basically used for any of the any of the cases where we need random numbers for that. Time is that is for clock and delays, and OS that actually talks to computer files and folder. Okay, so these are basically the built-in libraries in Python. Now coming down with the next one, that is the game libraries. So it contains Pygame that create games and Turtle that draw that drawing for the shapes and accordingly. So we have your Pygame, Turtle, all of it. Okay. Next we have this data and number library. Data and number library that is basically about numbers, tables, big data like NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib. These are the most essential libraries that we will be dealing and working with in our whole internships. Okay, so next we have this AI and ML learning libraries. So we have the scikit-learn. Next we have TensorFlow. We have Keras. What is scikit-learn? Scikit-learn is for learning patterns and different forms. Like for pre-processing, we need it, and different other part. TensorFlow is for the deep learning. Keras for building AI models, right? So these are the libraries that we will be also using in the entire internship program that we have. Next, we have this image video library. So that contains OpenCV, Nextpillow, all of it. Next, we have this web and internet libraries. Okay, I forgot to number it. Web and internet libraries that is used for website, the data that we are getting from internet, the APIs. So we use the Flask, Django, requests, all of this we use. Okay, so this are web and the internet one. Now, like Python using the libraries, like how actually Python use the libraries. So, in some cases, like I have to say something, suppose, okay? Like I suppose don't know about it. So in that case, writing all of it would be a very difficult problem, right? In that case, what I'll be telling, like let me, I have this library, I can call the library, so my work will be lower. Anyway, any of the tasks that we need to do that contains major understanding of the background and major understanding about the concept of it. Okay. Sometimes in our situation something is very new, or sometimes we don't understand the like we don't want to go through or understand the behind what's behind it, or what the logic that we want to. So in that case, just by simply using the library will make our work effortless, and also will reduce the coding sections. Okay, so this is what about the libraries. Next, we will be majorly in today's session, we will be including about pandas and numpy and pandas, so that we will be understanding accordingly. Okay. So basically, library is just a box of ready-made tools. So built-in libraries, we already have some of the libraries that are there in Python. So that are the ready tools inside Python. Then we have this external libraries, the tools that we can add later, right? These are the different libraries. Basically, libraries are the ready-made tools that actually help Python to do some of the important or difficult tasks easier, okay, and in effortless manner. Now we will be understanding about pandas and numpy in details. Okay, first we will be using numpy. Okay. What is NumPy basically? So you can imagine Python as a normal calculator, right? Now you imagine you need to handle thousands or millions of numbers, do fast calculation, and need to work with table of numbers, images, or ML data, right? Now this normal Python becomes very slow, very messy, and unable to handle it accordingly, right? In that case, we use this NumPy, that is number plus Python. What is NumPy? Number plus Python. They together come to the rescue in that situation. Okay. So NumPy is a library that makes Python very fast and strong for the numbers. Okay. So now why NumPy is needed, right? So we need to take some example for it. So you can imagine there is a fruit shop, right? Now you want to calculate the total apples sold in around 1,000 days. Okay. So what you are doing, you need to do this average pricing, net profit per day, all of this you want to calculate. Now, doing this one by one on a regular day basis will be a lot of time consuming and also very difficult to work. Right? Now, doing this together in one go, we can do using this NumPy. Okay, so the core idea about NumPy is like using numbers and Python together to make it stronger so that with huge data we can do some of the major calculations and major understanding about numbers becomes easy to us, right? So we have the again a core concept in NumPy, that is NumPy array. So what is an array? Array is like the box of numbers you can see. So all the items are of the same type and stored in a neat and like the faster way. Okay, you can think about like in a form in a real time or real life. You can think about the egg tree. So all eggs are of the same type and stored in a similar kind of box, right? So that is the example. So we will be discussing about NumPy array. Okay. Now, mainly here, like if I need to give you an example where NumPy is used, so suppose we need to add one to every value in of the any of the data set that we are having. So in that case, we will be using NumPy. Next, suppose we need to calculate the mean, median, standard deviation accordingly for the entire data set of around 5 lakh data you are having. In that case, you will be using NumPy. So these are the areas where you can use NumPy. So basically, NumPy makes the mathematical calculation faster. It handles large numerical data. It works with the matrices like the tables of the numbers. It in the image also you can use this NumPy. So image will be converted into numbers because even in any of the image does has the pixel, and pixel has some of the numbers. So any of the operation or anything needs to be done there, it can be done accordingly. Okay. accordingly, we have the use of NumPy in machine learning and deep learning because there we need to do some of the major calculations. So there we need to have the use of this NumPy library. Okay. So about this, we will be understanding a bit later how we can perform and how the things are that we will be understanding later. Now we will be considering with Pandas library. So what is pandas? So now imagine you are working with any of the like huge data like student record, Excel sheets, CSV file, then databases, then survey data. So that like you have some of the missing values, the wrong values that you are getting in row and column format in Excel, right? But how that need to be processed, that would be processed in Python, how Python will be getting it, right? So for that, we are using pandas. So pandas is basically the data manager for Python. Okay. Now here what we are doing, this pandas is the library that actually helps Python to understand and manage the table like data. So why pandas is needed? Because suppose we have the school register like that. So the school register have the student names, the roll number, the marks, the attendance. Now you want to get the final who is the topper or calculate the average marks. You need to find the absent students. You need to remove the wrong entries. So Pandas does all of this very easily. With the help of Pandas, we can do a lot of things. So the core idea of Pandas is like the data series, like the series, a single column of data that is the series. That is, suppose we have like let's give an example like marks will be coming in a series like suppose 80 comma 90 comma 60 comma 70 like this the data will be coming. Okay, next is data frame. So data frame is a full full table of data. Okay, so now like in Excel sheet we have the rows, column, the column names. So data frame is like the is called the heart of pandas. So that will take it accordingly, right? So when we will be importing the CSV file, we have to convert our CSV file to a data frame so that it can be easily understandable by Python and we can work accordingly. Okay, so these are the two core concepts of pandas, that is series and data frame. Next, going down, let's have a discussion about what pandas can do, right? It can read the data from Excel, CSV in JSON format. Next, it can clean the data, remove the missing values. It filters the rows and columns. It can sort the data, it can group the data, it can do some of the statistical calculation, prepare the data for ML models. Everything can be done by pandas. Okay, now in data cleaning portion. So why pandas is powerful up there? So basically when we are first getting any of the data that is very dirty, like there are missing values, there are duplicate rows, wrong formats. So pandas actually helps in feeling this missing value. They drop this useless data. Next, convert the text to numbers, fix column names. All of this can be performed using data, using pandas. Sorry. Okay. So be coming down to the features. So pandas is basically best for the numbers, like best for the tables. Basically pandas and NumPy is based for numbers. Okay, coming down to the data type. So the data type of pandas that can be stored, that is the mixed one, the text and the numbers, it can go with both. but NumPy goes best with the numerical one, only numeric, no text. Structure wise, the NumPy is basically the array type, but Pandas is series and data frame type. Coming down to the speed, NumPy is very much faster, but Pandas is a bit slower, but can be manageable with the work because it does a lot of important work accordingly. And in case of ML, we need the score maths. While in that case, we need NumPy, but Pandas that is needed in the data preparation. Okay, so this is all about Pandas. Now we'll just see some of the coding section, like how we can use this NumPy array. What is the type of this NumPy? Like what are the operations we can perform there, and also about the Python data, like Pandas data frame, right? Panda using Panda, how you can create the data frame. So let's just move it down there. Okay, fine. Let's just save this and open a new notebook. Okay, fine. So first we will be understanding about NumPy. So first NumPy, we need to import NumPy. Okay, so we will be import NumPy as NP. So we are giving a shorter name as NP, else every time we need to write NumPy more than once, right? So that is a difficult thing to do. So that's why we are importing NumPy as NP. Okay. Now we need to create a NumPy array. How we can do it? So we have imported the NumPy. Now let's just run it. And here we have to create an array. So we will be using array equals to numpy, that is np dot array, and we are giving different numbers to it. Okay. And we have taken it this way, and I want to print array. Now let's run it. So it is giving me this way. Okay. So this is an array. So it is actually faster than list, and we can use it more effortlessly. That's why we are using this NumPy array. Now suppose we had to add 5 to every number up here. Okay. Now let's take some of the lessons. I'll not take a bit like that. So array equals to np dot array. Now I will be just taking it as 1, 2, 3, and 4 only. Okay. Now I will be using a variable as result. Now I will be using array plus 5. Now I will be printing the result. Now let's run it. We have got the result as 6, 7, 8, 9. 1 plus 5, 6, 2 plus 5, 7, 3 plus 5, 8, 4 plus 5 is 9. Right? So that's why we are getting it like that. So it is automatically adds 5 to all of the values. Now same going down to multiplication. So here I will be doing, put it like that, and I want to do print result into 2. So it is automatically updated. So 5 plus 1, 6, 6 into 2, 12, right? So this is how we have got the result accordingly. Now we have this NumPy array statistics. So let's take it accordingly. So first let's take marks as the variable. Now I'll be using np dot array. Now we will be taking some of the marks here as 80, 90, like that. 80, 90, 70, 85, like this. Okay. Now here we will be adding, like I want to get the sum operation, the average operation, the maximum, the minimum, all I want. Okay. So I'll be doing print sum. Now I'll be using np.sum and I'll be giving marks. Print average and I will be using np dot average. The same way we will be doing the max and the mean. So we have got the sum as 325, average as 81.25, maximum as 90, minimum as 70. Right? So this is the easiest way of doing any of the operations. Now suppose we need to create array using range. Right? So how we will be doing it? So we will be using num equals to np dot arrange. I will be taking 1 to 11. Now I will be printing the num. So it is giving from 1 to 10, everything we are getting. Now we have this 2D numpy array. So how we can do it? So let's take matrix that is equals to np dot array and we will be taking it like this 1 comma 2 comma 1 comma 2 comma 3. Now here is completed with the first one. Next going down with the second one. Here we will be adding 4 comma 5 comma 6. Okay. So let's just print the matrix. So we have got the 2D numpy array. Same we can do for 3D numpy array as well. Okay. Now suppose I want to get the shape of the array. So for this I will be using print matrix dot shape. So it is 2 comma 3. That is number of rows. Sorry, number of rows with number of columns. Exactly. So number of rows with number of columns. This is 2 rows we have, and in result we have 3 columns. So 2 comma 3 is my shape. So 2 rows, 3 columns. Okay. Now coming down to pandas. So in case of pandas, how we have to do the similar way, we need to import pandas. So let's just do import pandas as PD. Now we have to run it so that it is accordingly taken. So we need the pandas into series, right? So marks equal to PD dot series. Now we have to take this and we want to print marks. So see, we have got it in series format. So along with that, we have got the index value also and the type as well, data type as integer. Okay. So this is the series one. Now suppose we want to create the data frame. So how we will be doing it? So let's take it as data that is like that. Now we have the name. So this is the way we have to create it. Here we have to just remove this. Now let's see. So this is the entire data frame format, like the table format. Okay. So this is the way how we can get it. Now if we need to access the column, how we will be doing print df with the name, like the key value that we will be printing. So now name, because that is the column name we have got. So it is giving me the names accordingly with the index number. Okay. Now suppose we want to access the row. What we will be doing? We will be doing print. Now we will be using df dot loc, that is location. I'll be giving it as 1, suppose. Okay. Let's do it. So we have got it accordingly. Everything for the first one we have got, that is Bob, 30, San Francisco. You can see the name is Bob, age is 30, city is San Francisco. Okay. So now if suppose I want to add a new column, in that case we will be using this. Now we have to suppose if the student passed or not, like that, if I have to give, suppose passed, and we'll be storing the result as well, like yes, no, yes, like that. Okay. So now I want to print df. Okay. Now suppose I want to see df dot head. So it is giving me the result like this. So I can see what are the data there inside my like the df that we have taken in. So df by default prints the five five rows accordingly. But here, since we have 3 rows specifically that containing the index number from 0 to 2, it is going as like this. Okay. Now suppose we need to filter the data. That is very important one. So for filtering the data, how we can do it? Suppose high marks. So I'll be using df in df marks. That is what is the criteria that should be greater than 85. Okay. Now I want to give print high marks. Okay. Let's just run it. Okay. What is the error? Key marks. Okay. There might be an issue. So I haven't used marks up here, right? Okay. No worries. Let's just take it like that. We can add the marks as well up here. So let's take it like that, or let's put it to age. That would be better because we already have the age one. So age we can put that would be greater than suppose 10. And we have age, yes. So we have got the age as like this. Now suppose we can change it and we can take it to greater than 30. So it is giving me the result of Charlie. Okay. So either we can take it with the help of marks. Since we haven't put marks inside my previous one, so I thought we have, since for that we have used pass, no, like that. So if we have to use the marks, then we can also create marks and just do the this stuff accordingly. So this is about this. And the same way we can do the other stuff as well, like some of the basis statistics also we can perform over here, like the same way. Okay. So this is all about NumPy and Pandas, and we have done things in details. So most of the things has been covered. Now when we will be moving down to with the one by one to the data processing, pre-processing, basically data pre-processing. Then in the coding section, when we will be, you'll be seeing how to import the libraries and then how to just take the data set inside the inside Python, and accordingly how we can do it, then you will be understanding better. Okay. So in the next session, we will be in detail discussing about the mathematical operations that needs to be done. Then by default, we will move down with the pre-processing that needs to be understand in details what exactly is pre-processing, how we can take a CSV in Python and do different operations over there. Okay, so thank you guys for joining today's session and for attending this session for today. We'll connect in the next session and we'll start it off from there and eventually we'll continue. Thank you, everyone. Bye, guys.